Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine. Giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
I'm so good at that. This is episode 125. I am Mike Milan. That is Blaine Birch. We are Mike and Blaine, and this is our podcast. Hey, you told me you were low energy. That was not low energy. You were dancing, you were singing, you were into it. What happened? You said you were low energy today.
I'm trying, but I'm everyone out there. I'm fighting a bit of a bug, and so I'm just like, I feel like I just want to lie on the floor and go to sleep. But this is the show, man. It's episode 125. So I am finding every last bit of energy. And the second we're done, I'll probably lie down on the floor and go to sleep.
All right. So let me brag on my man, Blaine Birch. He is the CEO and co-founder of Dry Run, the best cash flow forecasting software on the planet. If you have a business and you want to know what's happening next, if you want to see what's coming down the road, if you want to just simulate scenarios of what might happen to your dreams or even your nightmares, you can do it with Dry Run. Am I right?
Oh man, that was terrific. I love that. I just thank you so much. And I'm going to tell everyone about you because we're switching. Probably wasn't the best week for you to switch with me since my brain's a little mushy. But if you own a business, there's hidden cash in that business. I guarantee you, you're leaving money on the table. Mike will help you find that hidden cash. A ton of hidden cash. We're talking, for a lot of businesses, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, or more. So make sure you talk with Mike about that. Or if you are a CPA and you want to learn a little bit more about how you offer outstanding advisory services and find hidden cash for your clients, which is going to make them love you and pay you even more and never leave you, go talk with Mike. And he's going to get you all set up.
Man, that was pretty good. How about this? I think that we are the most unprepared podcast in existence. That's our new tagline. We are the most unprepared because I just surprised you with that. I didn't know, you didn't know I was going to just switch it. Just like every week. If you've never listened to this is about business, beer, and BS. And I make up the topic literally 10 minutes before the show. So
yeah, that's how we make sure it's topical, guys. That's why we do that. You don't want to plan something months ahead. It's like, no, what are we feeling like today? What are people thinking about today? What's the top of the list for entrepreneurs? And you nail it every week. So we got a great topic this week.
Well, it's just one of the things, because every time it's like something that has crossed my mind or crossed my path, and boom, it just happens. And what I like about it is that you and I can spend an hour on just about any topic. That's what makes this show relevant. That's what makes it. I had somebody the other day, David up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, says, I listen to the show because it's like two guys just talking, just like we're all sitting around having a beer. And you guys are just bullshitting back and forth about anything. There's no preparation. It just is real conversation, right?
And we can do this. We stop it at an hour. We could probably go for 3 or 4 hours every night, just giving her here. So it's what we do. We'll talk about everything. We will talk about the latest fiddle hopper if we have to. So,
see what you did. See what you did there. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Every time we do that,
beautiful. Every time we work in the term fiddle hopper, because we're turning that into a thing. We're gonna make it famous. And so I love the bell. That's great. That's beautiful.
So I put a bell on my desk. This is going to be part of today's topic is, even motivating yourself. I do this because when something good happens, this is, believe it or not, it's my signal to me that something good happened. And guess what? Courtney can hear it on the other side of the house. She knows something good happened.
Nice. That's a great idea. I might have to get that. I may get a buzzer, something like that. A goal buzzer from the hockey rink and just sort of stick it in here.
There you go. All right. So this is a business, beer, and BS. What are you drinking today?
I am drinking. Okay. So the show today, the topic is about chasing the dream, right? Well, chasing the dream and making those decisions that, whether you're going to chase the dream. So I came up with one found in the fridge, and it's based on California dreaming. is called Cali Creamin, and it's a vanilla cream ale from Mother Earth Brew Company in Idaho, somewhere in Idaho, Nampa, Idaho. I just found it in the fridge, and I thought, yeah, it's just California dreaming right there. That's awesome. So Cali Creamin from Mother Earth. Check them out.
I like it. I like it. But mine is topical as well, right? I mean, it's Chasing the Dream. It's from Real Ale, Blanco, Texas. I'm talking about within a half hour of me right now. It's just right up the road. But it's brought to you by neighbor Pat, right? It is Sky Island, right? Because that's one of my dreams. Hey, I'd rather be on the beach. I'd rather be just kind of kicked back. But Sky Island, it is an inspired beer, Paloma inspired beer. So I don't know exactly what to expect. This is malt beverage and natural flavor. So I'm going to assume there's some citrus and some malt there. I don't know exactly what it is. But this is Neighbor Pat. Neighbor Pat's one of our beer sponsors. We have a couple of them right now. You too can add, because we got like Rachel Barnett of Gentle Frog. She has been sponsoring us for months upon months. And if you need QuickBooks training, you should go to Gentle Frog, because she will take you from 0 to 60 on your QuickBooks, expertise. Meaning if you know nothing, she can take you to being a legitimate QuickBooks user in a matter of minutes. I mean, she is that good. So go check out Rachel. But Rachel Spot's coming up, right? Rachel Spot's coming up. So that means we're going to have room for more beer sponsors. And it's only $5 a week per. $5 a week. That's it. If you can afford that.
Literally drop a beer off at like my place, or like Mike's, like, well, neighbor Pat does that all the time, but so drop some off at my place. I'm just going to end it at that. Here, come drop beer off at my place. Or $5. That's all it takes. And we also have Larry Weinstein. Larry's been a long time beer sponsor, and he's still got weeks to go. Larry Weinstein, CPA from Houston. If you need help with your business or your accounting, you got to go talk with Larry, because he's the guy. Make sure you. And thanks again, Larry. Thanks for the beer, Cali Creamin today.
And I'm telling you what, if you're in Houston and you're looking for a cash flow advisor, go see Larry Weinstein. That guy can find hidden cash. He can help you put more money in your pocketbook. So Larry, appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks all of you guys.
So they might be asking, how do I buy you a beer? Right? How would they buy us a beer?
Just go to mikeandblaine.com. You can buy us a beer. There's a button, buy us a beer right there. And it's super easy. You can also buy some merchandise there. We got some cool t-shirts. We got the Just Giving Her t-shirt. I just remembered we were going to make a Fiddle Hopper t-shirt. We're going to have to make that one of these days, but go there. You can also catch all of our episodes or get our links to our episodes from there, or catch us on every one of the podcast networks. Check us out on YouTube, where you can actually watch us. You can watch us live every week on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube live. We're live literally right now. And make sure you follow, subscribe, like, and check us out every week.
All right. So today I'm over at Trinity University. I'm teaching a class. I teach a class there on entrepreneurial sales. All right. And I don't know what it is, Blaine, but I get remotivated every single week. I'm talking to, 7, 10 people in this class, or small classes, 7 or 10 people in this class, all entrepreneurial minded. They're all in college right now thinking, what am I going to do next? Mm-hmm. And I've made this sentence. I don't know who gave me this sentence in my lifetime. You know how you run across stuff and you don't know where really it came from?
No, every week, every day.
Yeah, right? Like, well, why do I say that?
I remember.
But here's the thing. This sentence came out of my mouth today during class. I'm like, that. Why do I keep saying that? That's like the third time in a week I've said that. And it's, you're either going to work on your dream or you're going to work on somebody else's. That's the two choices you have in life, right? Yeah. And when I say work on your dream, it's your business. It's your own passion. It's what you want to do next. Or you're going to go be an employee for a corporation and work on somebody else's dream. Those are your choices. So that's what I want to talk about today, is like, why is that a choice and why do people make it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a choice, and not everyone should make a decision on either way. Like you're kind of cut out for one or the other. Find your path and you're going to enjoy life. If you, I wouldn't do anything else. I that was my thing, is about chasing my dream. But some people wouldn't enjoy it, and that's okay, right?
Well, I mean, some people think like, I'm going to start a business so I can make all this money, and I think that that's a small percentage of entrepreneurs.
Very small. Very, very small. Yeah.
All right, so you got to think back. Okay, how does it start? Because a lot of people don't start out of college. That's why the entrepreneurship programs around the country are pretty small. Because nobody goes to college saying, "I'm going to be an entrepreneur," because you can just do that anyway, right? You don't need
Yeah.
a college degree. But the people that will say are in college sometimes take an intermediate step before becoming an entrepreneur. They go get a job, right?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Most, yeah.
do you know what the definition of a good job is? Good. 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 It's get out of debt. That's why people take good jobs.
There you go. That's
And then they go do whatever else they want to do after that.
yeah, exactly. That's the magic right there. It's it's true that I don't know. There are very few entrepreneurs that'll dive in right out of college. Actually, I think there's more entrepreneurs that start by they skip college and just they have an opportunity and they grab it before college. But a lot of times, people come out of college. We see it all the time. They've been trained in an area. They may work there for a little bit, and then you just like me. I worked in a creative agency for a few years, two and a half, three. I don't know. And it was like a magnet that sucked me out to start my own business. But what's funny is I wish I would have taken a course on entrepreneurship in university, but I had zero idea that was what I would end up doing. But I just got drawn to it. I got sucked right into this, and I was doing it on like not a whole lot of experience, right? So,
all right. So let's talk about though the reasons why people will go into a job first. Let's start there, right? Because what we're going to talk about today is that transition. Like, how do I go from one to the other? So, to me, when I think about a corporate environment, a corporate job, it's more structured, right? I mean, think about that. You maybe especially as you're transitioning out of college, you need a little bit of structure, like because you've been living a kind of a free form lifestyle. Sometimes you go to class, sometimes you wear flip flops, sometimes you stay out all night. But it's one of those things where it's like it's a structured environment that I know what to expect. I'm there at 8, I stay till 5, I do these tasks. So some people need that right off the bat, right? Let me provide some structure to myself. What are some other things you think, are beneficial? Because these are pros, right? These are pros to going to a corporate job instead of being an entrepreneur.
Well, they're industry experts, right? That's where you're coming, or maybe not. I wouldn't say expert yet, coming right out of. But that's maybe part of the thing is coming out of college. You've been taught something, but you don't have generally a lot of practical experience, and you need that experience. You need to learn your craft in a professional sense. It's really quite important. And then the other thing is, you come out of college, you just need money. Like by then, you just need money. You need money to start a business, right? And this is like, you need money just because you just need money to pay a bill, pay rent, pay your mortgage, right? So,
yeah, it's interesting you say that about like gaining some expertise, because there's a huge push right now, we'll say at Trinity University, about applied techniques, meaning that don't just teach the theory, don't just teach this is how it should be in the world. This is how it actually works. And I think that's one of the reasons where I'm liking it. Is I've been given the freedom to go, hey, yeah, here's the theory, but here's how we do it. Here's how I see people do this every day. So I like the applied thing, but you hearing it from me in an hour and 15 minutes on a Tuesday afternoon in your junior or senior year does not take the place for 3 to 5 years at a cubicle where you're doing the work and you're seeing it over and over and over again in the process. It just, you can't replicate that, Yeah.
And there's more than your job or your task. You see the rest of the machine, or at least a fair bit of it. Hopefully you get a sense of how everything else works. Right. And that's where most entrepreneurs come from. They come as, an expert in an area, they understand a craft, but then they see the opportunity. They see the opportunity and go, I can go do this myself. And
that's
just happens so often, right?
That just hit me where, all right, so in college you have these silos. I'm an economics major. I'm an accounting major. I'm a marketing major.
Yeah.
And you don't see it work together until you land in a corporate job. And all of a sudden you see your accounting friend, right? The accounting major is doing AR now for a company, and your marketing friend is now doing the digital or the social thing for the company you're working for. All
Yep.
of a sudden you see all of the disciplines in one building working together. That's a
Yeah.
really, really cool point.
Well, and for me too, it was like I was a graphic designer coming out of university, and got a job as a graphic designer, and I was and thought, well, this is, I guess, what I'm going to do. I didn't do it for very long, to be honest, but before I started my own agency, and then pretty soon I wasn't doing it at all because I had people doing it, which is such a weird transition, which I know we're going to talk about as we go through this. But some of the stuff that was really important outside of the craft was actually talking with clients and seeing how my bosses talk to clients, how they handle clients, how they got new jobs, how they built relationships with clients. I, of course, even in university, I had my own few first little clients and that. And usually it was like a complete disaster because I didn't know what I was doing. And to have a few years I've just seen and talking with the clients and actually starting to do a lot of the conversations with clients myself, boy, you learn a lot because this isn't theoretical anymore. It's like you got to deliver and you got to develop a relationship with this person, right?
Yeah. So here's what's happening to me recently. All right. Since I went back just on my own, I don't know if it's because I'm a one man show or I don't know what it is. But when you say learning to talk to clients, I've had the shittiest conversations with vendors this year than ever. And it's because I ask a question like going, hey, I'm $5,000 in. What's the plan? What are we doing here? And it's like
Yeah.
I've offended somebody and I get this verbal barrage and text after text and email after email about uh, all the reasons why it's not happening or they can't do it. I'm like, I just asked you what the plan was, dude. What's the thing here? I feel like there is a lack of connection to the person right now in customer service. And I don't know why it's there, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I can see that because people were living behind walls for so long and living on Zoom and text messaging and everything. Um, it's funny. I don't like it's come back quick in service business and restaurants and things like that. I find that's come back quick, but you're right. I don't know. Maybe people lost their chops. Maybe some of that is gone. It's going to take a long time to rebuild, but I don't know because I'm spending much more time talking with clients now than I have even over the last couple of years, and I love it. Like I love it. Love
I,
talking with them. I'm learning from them. I'm getting back into a little bit of my old sales chops from when I had an agency and we had to sell a hell of a lot of jobs every week, right? And it's kind of cool. It's really fun to get back into that and get right up front with clients. I'm just really enjoying doing more of that.
I totally agree with you. I mean, there are some awesome experiences happening as well. Like I got a review on email yesterday that they're sending to the Better Business Bureau, and it brought me to tears. I'm like going, man, that when you impact somebody where it changes their life just by it doesn't matter, just a sentence, a
Mhm.
thing, or when you engage with other people, you change them somewhat all the time. I mean, you do with me all the time. I mean, every time you say something, I'm like, man, that's really smart. That's really good.
No, you know, you
Uh,
sometimes think that's really stupid. I know. I can tell from your face
I mean,
sometimes,
sometimes you say dumb things, but
but not all the time. Not everything.
hey, but you just mentioned like the service industry. We were
Yeah.
in Tacoma, Washington, whereas when I was in Washington, I remembered service being just okay, but not just
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Texas, and I've gotten used to service in Texas, and I go back expecting it to be okay. They blew me away. Service across the board, no matter where I was at. I don't care if it was a local dive bar or if it was a top rated restaurant or if it was just at the airport. Service across the board in Washington was well above what I expected.
Wow.
And that's a compliment to them. I mean, I'm saying that across the board, it was better.
I wonder if it's That's really interesting. I wonder if it's gotten just a lot more competitive. Dollars have been tight. Businesses have struggled since COVID. Or they've been saddled with debt. Even if they're starting to get traffic back, they got debt. It's so competitive now. And we were actually there's a restaurant up the hill from us here at the golf course, and we haven't been there in a couple of years. Like we don't go that often, and it was okay. Food was okay. Service was okay. There's usually not a lot of people there. And then we got an email or something that said that they had a new pizza oven. I'm like, okay, cool. And they claimed it was a new restaurant. I'm like, it's not a new restaurant. It's the exact same thing, but now they got a pizza oven. Let's go check it out. So we walked up there last week, and it was middle of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. We walked in, the place was packed. We're like, oh, wow, look at this. And server kit, like the staff came up to us, got us to a table. The service was terrific. The food was good. And I'm like, look how quickly it transformed by having just really solid food and really good service. Beautiful, beautiful view, beautiful place. It transformed. And I was so shocked. I'm like, look it's the same place, but the service and the food was better. And it was like lights out, right?
Hey, the three main drivers of value in a business are product, people, and process. If you can nail those three things, right? Have the right product that people want, good shit, right? I mean, good pizza, good beer, whatever.
Yeah.
People that are willing to take care of you and not be, not have a shitty attitude, not have a disposition where they don't care if you're there or not. And then a process that anybody can follow, where it's just, it's nailed in. It doesn't feel clunky. It doesn't feel awkward. It feels like, oh, I should go from here to there and it should take 14 minutes for a ticket time and my drinks land in, X number of minutes. I mean, the process matters because that customer experience is seeing what your process is. Even if they don't see what happened, they see the result.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how simple stuff like that can look from the outside, which is the same as any business. It always looks like easy and ticking along and super successful. And behind the scenes, it can sometimes be chaotic, but you don't get to see all the work. And I even think about that, like all of the training that would go into that, and hiring the right people, and hiring picking the right menu, and all these things that went into it to make it a lot better is it's quite shocking. And we've had, that's the second one in the neighborhood that's redone. Like there's one down the block here. It was always just kind of like, it was okay, but not great. And it lasted about a week into COVID. They were that close, tight on their cash flow, and they were gone. And there's a place that went in there now. It's called Thompson 105. If you're in Scottsdale, the place I highly recommend. We go there quite often. They took it over, renovated the whole place, all new food, all new staff, all new systems, all new processes. And that place is full all the time. Like we're talking a few years later, and I walk by, it can be a Monday night, and there's a bunch of people in there. And it's like, that's great to see. It's the same location, but their execution was so different that it transformed that place.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if somebody transitions out of corporate life into that, right? You're just trying to transform a business. It made me think of two things that have to make it happen that you're going to miss. You're going to miss this in your corporate job. The number of resources or access to resources diminishes greatly, right? It's whatever you can afford.
Yeah.
You don't have like, hey, we'll just get this or hire a contractor to do that. Well, maybe you can't because you don't have the money.
Yeah.
Secondly, on a personal note, if you were used to great benefits, I don't care if it's just free coffee at the office or health benefits, or those are gone. So you got to realize that there's a couple of things that you take for granted at corporate level that when you step out to chase your own dream, they're gone.
Yeah. Well, for crying out loud, your paycheck is gone. Like, unless you have clients lined up ahead of time and you have cash coming in, don't forget your paycheck's gone, right? It's completely gone. I know that when I started I guess it was my creative agency, but at the first it was me, myself, and I, right? But when I left my job and I had that safety net and everything, I had found kind of a part-time contract with the college. So I could run a little department there. That was a cost recovery department. We were running classes and stuff. And I had so I'm like, okay, I got at least a little bit of money coming in from there. And then I found my first customer, not a big one, but it was $4 or $5, something like that. I'm like, got a customer. Whew, let's take the leap. But the other thing, and I probably told this story before, but it still rings true to me that I know there's a couple friends of mine, I think maybe even right out of university, started their design studios, and they both did the same thing. They went and got loans, and they bought the fanciest, latest computer they could get and all of the fanciest software, and then they sat there and waited for people to show up. And when I started my business, they thought I was weird because I went out. First of all, I bought a laptop because I'm like, I can only afford one computer and I want to impress the hell out of the potential clients as I walk in and show them stuff on screen. And this was 1999. So it's, quite a while ago. Wasn't the norm back then. I begged, borrowed, and stealed some educational software to get in my computer, like, because I had no money. Right. And, but for me, it was all about getting those clients, impressing those clients, and being able to go, I can take that client and a great job that I did, great portfolio piece, and I can make that into the next client and the next client. And that worked. And so pretty soon I was like hiring a designer. And then I joined with my partner, but I joined with a partner after we had landed a big government job. We did a joint pitch and they're like, shit, I guess we better merge and incorporate. And that's how we built. So it was always built on, we were basically cash flow positive right away because like we got the job, start the business almost is the way we almost went about it. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely wasn't cash flow positive and had to, go into savings and credit cards and that type of stuff. But I did have a client before I left. Right. So it's like going that. And I think that's what most people need is they need one element that they think makes it a safety net. At least I have this. I'm not going in with zero, right? So a lot of people leave corporate environments where they have the structure and they have the salary and they got the benefits and they got the resources. They're going, okay, at least I have this. I got a client. I got whatever it is. I got an office. Somebody gave me something. I've got, there's something you got that makes it a little bit less scary.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. Like I think it's hard to start a business when you have a full safety net. You can't, I don't think you start a business with a big cushy job with all the benefits and everything, but it's hard to walk out the door with zero and go like, well, I have to build a business because it takes time to land those clients, takes time to get paid for the job you're doing, takes time. You just need some sort of cash flow. And that's immediately, I guess maybe it foreshadowed a little bit, but it was immediately, I'm like, I can line some stuff up here and I got to have some cash coming in because we're running lean. Like we're still living off of nothing at the time while I built this and while I started to get customers. And, but it was very much when I think about it, starting that business, it wasn't design first. That was the product at the end. It was all about customer acquisition and setting up systems and processes that would work to build a business. So it was I think you have to take that approach, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, what you're describing is I made the decision and here's, this, but there was a bunch of stuff that happened before that. And in my mind, it's like a corporate environment doesn't give you much personal recognition, right? If you're that type of guy, like you don't really stand out. You're just like there. Or perhaps you don't have very much flexibility. You don't have autonomy in what you can do, right? You're like, I'm always stuck. I'm always I always waited for 5 people to make a decision before I could do something. So you have a little bit of the want to do things faster, right? You just want to do things and you feel like it's slow. It sucks. It's terrible. It's a slog. So, and then of course there's no autonomy. You're just whatever, you're just told what to do all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think all of those things build up to where you start to look for an entrepreneur opportunity. Is that right? I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I think but what you described wasn't really what I was like I was working in a small business, so I got to see, and I got experiences that I wasn't sort of pigeonholed because it was a small business. So they kept throwing more and more on my shoulders as well, which was great because I got to learn a lot. Um, and I started to get that itch. I also wanted to do my master's degree. So I've started to get that itch and everything like, but what I can't say is I can't say there was one thing. It wasn't like I wasn't in a cubicle job in an awful place. I'm like, this was a pretty good place to work. It was really kind of neat. It was kind of fun. I got all these amazing experiences. So why would I leave that? I just, it's like my subconscious just drove me out. And I'm like, there's probably 1,000 reasons, but it's because I want to build something myself. I want to own something. I want to do something on my own that I maybe didn't even recognize at the time. I just did it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess our experience was different because remember I was a state trooper.
Mm-hmm.
My office was a car. So the office was really good. It was just me in a car and whatever I want to see that day. If I want to see the Mississippi River, that's what I saw, right? If I want to see, a city, I saw that. But I also had somebody tell me when to go to work and when not to work. I also had all these other rules that I had to, placate everybody else. And then I also had my roadmap of how much I was going to make for the rest of my career already lined out on a paper. There's a grid. You work this many years, you're at this rank, you get this much money. Well, fuck that. I want to make more money. I don't want to just, if I do a better job, I should make more money. Not make the same money as somebody, that does half the work that I do. That's what my problem was there is I'm like going, I go out there and bust my ass. I was number 1 or number 2 in the state in some different categories. And I get paid the same as everybody else. I'm like, well, stop doing it. And you know who told me that to begin with? And I didn't listen. And I worked myself too hard in the beginning. An old trooper, probably, old crusty guy, right? He's probably my age. but
42.
But then I was, 22, 23 years old. And he took me aside in the hallway of the troop headquarters and says, hey, you need to pay attention to what you're doing today because they're going to grade you against all of that for the rest of your career. Which means, hey, you wrote 1,000 tickets this year, and if I only write 800 next year, well, then I'm a shitty employee because my performance is going down. I'm like, I'm rated against me, not you guys. No wonder that this is weird. But that encourages less work. That encourages less work when you think about it.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't do well with that sort of like. I never had to work in government. But we were like my agency, we did work for, I couldn't tell you a dozen different government agencies. So we got to see so much of that with these little tidbits when we go in for meetings. Then I'm like, I wouldn't survive here, but we got to go back to our office and do a bunch of cool stuff. So we were good. Right. But I don't really like, I think looking back, I think what attracted me was I wanted to be the one, not in charge because it wasn't a power thing. It was a build thing. I wanted to be the one that sort of had that responsibility. I wanted to be the one that was out there on the edge and dealing with customers. And like I didn't want to be producing stuff at my desk, okay, I did that. So someone walking down the street with a t-shirt I designed, I'm like that fades super quick. I wanted to build something I think that mattered. And, even after my creative agency days, even going into dry run, so much of it, I think, was this drive to build something that I think matters and moves the needle for people. It really makes a difference. Like we're doing cool stuff in our agency, but did it really feel like we were making a difference? Sometimes not. Right.
Hey, let me talk to you about making a difference and moving the needle. I'm going to tell you about a time, and I'm talking about our title sponsor, Magic Mind, right? And I'm going to tell you about a time where I was low energy, and this stuff they sent me, and I haven't put it on Facebook yet, but I'm going to. They sent me a packet of 5 of these, and I take them when I'm low energy, when I'm just not feeling it. Like I don't want to go to my desk, and I don't want to, put in the effort of the work. And I know there's stuff piled up here. I know there's things I should be getting done, but I'm not focused. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the biggest thing is this focus that you might lack when you go sit at your desk and you're doing your job. So for me, I took just a little bit of this Magic Mind, right? Magic Mind is an all natural. I think it's all natural. I'll call it elixir. You know all the technical stuff, Blaine, but
I don't know the technical stuff. But
this stuff I thought was going to taste horrible because I'm not that type of guy. I'm not, I drink beer and I drink water. I don't drink a lot of other stuff. It did not. It tasted like these little Hugs Kool-Aids that I had when I was a kid. So it had a great taste. But here's what happened. I took this thing, and every time I take it now, I can sit at the desk and I am focused. I am like laser focused. There is nothing that distracts me, and there's nothing that impedes on what I'm trying to do. I just type or think or write or whatever I'm trying to get done, and I power through it. And it has been the thing that has made me the most productive during the day. If I'm low energy, I take that. Because I'm telling you, it will definitely change the way your mind works during the day. So we have Magic Mind. They are our title sponsor, and you can give them all the technical detail. But I'm telling you, as a personal, story, if you need focus, if you need something to help you concentrate and get shit done, drink a Magic Mind.
Yeah, exactly. And here's my little empty one here. And you know what? Like I've said before, I like have the flu or cold. And I think I'm hanging in there pretty good. And maybe it's courtesy of Magic Mike, right? Like I'm actually hanging in pretty good, even though I should be lying on the floor, just like out.
I'm telling you, there hasn't been anything I've taken that makes me focus more than that thing does. Magic Mind. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. All right. Speaking of focus, when you leave corporate environment, you've got to be focused, right? So let's think about that decision. I remember how it felt. I remember how scared I was. I remember how just absolutely, because I had 3 kids, right? 3 kids, wife. I had to talk everybody into it. Like going, trust me, I know better. I didn't know shit. Didn't know anything. I was flipping a coin like everybody else was. And the thing is that they let me flip the coin. That was dumb. They should have let me flip. No, I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things where that became more of a motivation for me than anything else. It wasn't ego. It was like going, I can't let these people that live in my house that I love and protect and want in my life, I can't let them down. My family became the biggest motivation. You know what the second biggest motivation for me was? I couldn't go back to being a state trooper after I said, I'm going to do better, y'all. Oh, yeah. Your pay grid is out.
Yeah. Fear of failure. That keeps you going, motivates a lot, right? It's, and I think what you're even talking about is when you have you got it, like at that point, like I got to pay a mortgage, or you got to pay, like you got to survive, right? You got to pay for groceries, you got to pay for everything, right? That is a massive amount of motivation, but what it does is it helped me seriously prioritize. And that prioritization was, go get some freaking work that's going to pay, go get some jobs, go sell, deliver. So it help you sell the next stuff, right? Like that's really important, that you can't just sit there and wait for people to come to your door.
Well, you just said it, sell. I'm like going, I sat in that class with college kids. I'm like going, who wants to be a salesman? 0 people raise their hand. You're in an entrepreneur course. I'm like going, First of all, I'm going to tell you this. Nothing in life happens without a sale. Zero things. I don't care if you're 9 years old and you want to go outside and play. You got to convince your parents to let you do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's a sale. That's a sale. Sales is an inherent thing that happens with all of us. We all learn to sell from the earliest stage.
Well, and virtually any job, especially when you're first starting it, you are the salesperson. Your sales activities, your sales, I don't want to say techniques, but success is what is going to make your business successful. You can't just go out and like hire a sales team and sit back. Yeah, you've never done it before. I came out of college and I'm going to hire a sales team and just like, I'm just going to go golf. You guys go and make us $1 million. Like, no, you have to sell. And in fact, I'm sure you've heard it a million times. Like the CEO is almost always the best salesman in the company. Like they're the ones that can sell their product, their passion, because they understand it, they know it, and they're just passionate about it, right? That's the key.
It's not just a passion. I mean, it's connected to them somehow. They go, I am doing this to help somebody else, right? Every business is based, on the foundation that I'm here to solve a problem. That's every business. I don't care if Magic Mind is trying to solve the problem of people having low energy or not being focused when they go to work. I mean, Dry Run is trying to solve a different problem, with cash flow, finding hidden, or not finding hidden cash. That's kind of my thing, but
we're both solving the problem.
It's still the same. It's still solving a problem. Every business, your first goal is to solve a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
First goal.
And your second is communicating with, finding who has that problem and communicating a solution to their problem.
Yeah. So, and people go, well, I sell because I have somebody in class. He has fantastic strawberry habanero jams and jellies.
Nice. Yeah.
He goes, well, what problem am I solving? I said, well, why would they choose you over Welch's? He goes, because there's all these preservatives and all these artificial garbage in this thing, and I don't have that. Yeah, that's the problem you're solving. Is I'm a person that don't want that. So my problem is I need to find a product that doesn't have that.
Well, and what are some of the other, like you're solving the quest for something delicious, right? You're solving, you're building, basically you're also building happiness. You're building joy, right? Like the problem isn't just like, well, you have a sewer backup, so you're solving a problem. The problems can be somebody that just is passionate about something, and you're giving them a way to, like craft beer. It's like, I want something delicious, but I also want something with a story, and I want something that supports local economy, right? That's something that they're helping to solve.
Well, you buy the Japanese jeans and Murano t-shirts.
Merino,
is that right?
Yeah.
What is it? Merino?
Merino wool. Yeah.
But you do that for a reason, right? Because there's something that you get from that.
Yes.
What do you get from that? What do you get from that t-shirt?
Well, the Merino, first of all, and I'm gonna pump these guys because it's this Unbound Merino. I've worn this thing and washed it a bajillion times. It looks brand spanking new. It's also the most comfortable thing you'll ever wear. Like there's no like you're not constricted. It's so comfortable, so soft, keeps the shape, lasts forever. And it's also antibacterial, so they virtually never stink. If you're sweating, it dries itself. Like it's like magic. It is absolutely magic. That's solving about 10 problems right there. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah. All of those things that you just said were a problem.
Yeah.
My clothes hold the stink. Like Nike Dry Fit, I cannot they are terrible, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to holding a smell that I hate.
Polyester is plastic, and it's awful for that. Absolutely awful. There's a million things wrong with that. Now, the Japanese denim, what problem are they solving that, your average Levi's is like, that's like, I just really like cool little artisans that are doing this stuff. And
That's it. That's the problem. Levi's doesn't solve that problem.
Yeah. And
the problem is I like this. They don't have that.
It's pretty simple. Yeah, it's pretty simple. And I want, I want raw denim that wears and tells a story. I don't want to buy someone like a factory that ages denim. No, give me something that's never been aged, that's raw, that's brand spanking new, and it'll build and it'll grow and it'll tell my story, not someone else's. All in my
When you
pants.
when you said raw and brand spanking new, I went right to Robux. Sears and you remember Sears and Roebucks had these
What?
thing called Roebucks, and they were almost like I don't know, pieces of leather, just like in denim, and they were denim, and they wouldn't move until you broke them in. You had to break them in to actually feel good in your jeans. When I
Yeah.
was a kid,
Yeah.
yeah.
These things that well, they have to be broken in, but not quite that bad, but they have to be broken in. It's yeah, crazy stuff.
All right. So let's talk about now at kind of the end. We're coming up on the end of this. What is it? Where's that? Let's go right to the line where I'm getting ready to make the decision. I work in a safe place and I'm going to leave all that behind to do something risky. What is it? What makes you make that decision?
I think it's for everyone. It's really personal. It's really whether it's I want to do my own thing. I want to build. Like so often it's I want to build, or I see an opportunity. That's another one. It's just like some people like that you see an opportunity, you just like I can see it. I can't let that go by. I've got to grab it. I've got to grab it. So I think there's maybe little differences in what makes you leap. I think sometimes it's be prepared if you do leap that it's going to be probably harder and riskier than you could ever imagine. And you need to sell and you need to prioritize and you need to learn so incredibly fast. And you probably need a little luck along the way too.
Yeah. So I got this saying, right, with employees that people never really quit their jobs, they quit their manager. Right. So that's kind of me, right? It's like
Yeah.
poor leadership, poor management. And over time, that allows this entrepreneurial seed that you already have, right? You already got this. I can probably do this on my own. I can probably do that.
Mhm.
The worse that manager is, the more confident I am that I can do it better. I'm like, if that guy can do it, I can
Yeah.
definitely do it.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
so
and yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying. So I think part of it becomes there's a confidence that builds to the point where the risk that you're seeing in being a small business owner isn't as scary as dealing another day with that asshole that you're working with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather just go chance it.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to reiterate one of the things you said before, where you could see the path of your life and those and your salary all the way up. I actually say I remember exactly that. That I looked at it and I'm like, I kind of have a salary cap, and if I go out on my own, now I might not make as much, but I got no cap. Like, and that was a really freeing thing to go like, there's no like limit, a hard limit, and that's really kind of cool.
I left the first year and exceeded what I would have ever made
Yeah.
at the Howell Patrol. The first year. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, I'm not going back. I've
Yep.
had job offers since, and they offer me money. I'm like, going, dude, I can make that in like a month.
Yeah.
So
And
we're not doing that.
you could never like you just there's nothing they could offer me to bring me back to work for somebody because it's like a buddy of mine always says, it's like you're a dog off the leash. Like you can't go back. Like you're it's hard, it's stressful and everything else, but your limits are well, I can't be a graphic designer. Like that is 1,000 times past. And I couldn't even convince myself to do it. Like but I do, like, I'm sure you felt like I do get the odd job offer. I do get them like, I got a thing. No, I don't need a job. But I will say the job offers are it's not like a cubicle. It's a senior position at a something or other that actually they're generally pretty interesting. I wouldn't do them, but the experience I've built over this 25 years has basically opened this up to that. If I ever, exited dry run at some point and wanted to do something like, I probably have a lot of options, right?
Yeah, well, I've had offers to buy my business, but they're not trying to buy the business. They're trying to buy me as an employee.
Yeah.
They know I won't leave what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But they think that if I buy what you have, well, then you'll need something else and we'll protect your something else with a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
It's like a weird type of sneaky because it's like out in the open.
Oh, it's pretty, no, it's obvious. It's right there.
It's part of the offer, right? So it's like, and then I think about it because the last one, I just went through that, a month or two ago. The last one was, well, I'm not ready to be an employee. I think when it comes right down to it, I don't want to be an employee right now.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you become an entrepreneur is you decide, I want to follow my dream, not yours.
Yeah. And when you say right now, I'm like, yeah, you can lop that right now off the back end. Like there are very few entrepreneurs, especially been an entrepreneur for a while, that just can make good employees. Usually when they exit, they got to stick around for like 2 years or 3 years. Have you ever seen a founder make it past like, you got to stick around for 1 year, 366 days, and they're like freaking hightail it? Like, because it's hard. It would be incredibly difficult to be an employee.
See, I don't think I would agree to more than 6 months. And 6 months to me is a transition.
Yeah.
I'll help you through it, but then it's yours.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit here and watch what I built burn down or whatever it is you're going to do next. I
do remember a story. I won't give any detail because but I do remember a story that I heard from a friend of mine when they exited. And one of the co-founders or owned like a part of the company or whatever walked to the beat of his own drum, and they had to stay, I think, like, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years. It wasn't that long to vest everything and walk out. And all I remember from the story, this is going back a lot of years. So all I remember from the story is they were bought by a really big business, and it was a reply all to the entire company. And it just said, I'll paraphrase, F this. And he got up and left. And he's like, I don't care. It's not worth the money. And I just like, nope, life's too short. And he's like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
All right. So whether you're chasing your dream or somebody else's, you have to be you, right? You have to be you. And speaking of you being you, I'm Mike Blaine. That is Blaine Birch. This is the Mike and Blaine podcast, where you listen to beer and business and BS, and where you can
buy us a beer, share, follow, buy merch, go to mikeandblaine.com. Was that where you're going with that? I don't even know.
Yeah. I thought we were getting better. These handoffs, sometimes I guess I'm terrible at handing off segues.
Usually it's good. That one, I'm like, I'm not sure which way you want to go on that, but I'm just going to dive in.
You could have said anything and they would have got it.
Yeah, so I said something. So, but anyways, follow, subscribe, like us, and make sure you go to mikeandblaine.com, buy us a beer, and listen to us on all the popular networks. Find us on YouTube. You can actually see, our ugly mugs talking at you too. So make sure you check out Magic Mind, and 126 next week.
Check out their website at mikeandblaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.